Hi guys, my name is Patrick, but you can call me 26, and what we want to do today is we would like to talk about navigation stacks. Now, navigation stacks in SwiftUI are used to navigate between screens on your app, right? So they're different from other controls in that they do take the whole entire screen and they don't have normally show anything on the screen, right? So for example, if we come here and we say we wrap the entire V stack here in the navigation stack, come here, say something like navigation stack, like so, and do this, and this would be that. So come here and do this. So if we wrap the V stack in the navigation stack, you will not see any changes. This is our preview. You're not going to see any changes on the app, right? Now, what you could do is you use a navigation stack to put navigation titles on the screen, right? And how you put a navigation title is that, unlike other modifiers which you can normally put on the particular struct or the element that you want to put it, this is normally put inside the navigation stack, right? So for example, here we see image, we put the modifiers on the image. Here we put it inside. So you come here inside the navigation stack and you give it a title. So you come here and you say navigation title and you say welcome, right? So we get the navigation title as welcome, right? And this one is going to default to a large title. If you want to use an inline title, you have to actually specify it, right? So we could come here and we say something like .navigation bar title display mode, and this is going to be, default to large, right? But here we want the inline one. And if we hit inline, we're going to get the smaller, more inline navigation title. Now, we could hide a navigation bar, and for that, let's use a toggle to hide ours, right? So what we do is come here and we say something like at state, we don't need the private, we could say at state var and say hidden, and this one is going to be false. And what we want instead of this is to have a toggle. So you could come here and we say toggle and is on, and here for the toggle is on, or we could let's just simplify it, right? Toggle, come here, do that, say is on. And is on requires us to have a binding. So we say this is going to be hidden, like so. And we could put a text before it, right? Come here and just say something like hide, right? So that is going to work, right? And now what we want this to toggle is going to be, we come here and we say toolbar, like so, toolbar. And toolbar needs a visibility. So we say, we check hidden and come here and we say hidden, like so, and this is going to be dot hidden, else we're going to say dot the opposite visible, right? So when we toggle this is going to either show our navigation bar or not show it, right? So just to make it more prominent, we could make it the larger type and then come here and toggle this. Right now, when we toggle this, it's going to be hidden, and when it's hidden, everything is going to jump up, right? And when you close it, it's going to come back up. So hidden, visible, hidden, visible. So for some reason, if you want to navigate to a different page, you could hide it, right? And another thing you should note that if you are navigating from this particular page, I'm going to show you navigation in a bit. If you're navigating from this particular page and you have set the navigation bar title to be inline, the next page is also going to have it, right? Or if you're coming from a page with this, the next page that you're navigating to is also going to have the title as inline. So you need to figure out how to turn it off. Now, another thing we could do is we could put buttons on the navigation bar, right? So how we do that is we could come here and remove this on our toolbar, and we could come here and say something like toolbar item. And for the content, we could press enter and we get this closure. And we're just going to put a button like so. And what the button is going to have is we're going to come here and we say action. And the action is going to be just that. And the label, we could put an image. What's the image? It's going to have a system name. System name is going to be something like heart.fill, like so, right? Now we have our button like so, and of course, if you want to do it to do something, just enter the code there. So now we have our button on our toolbar, right? And what we could do is, if you want to give it a color, of course, you just come and give it a tint, right? Come here and say something like dot tint, and this is going to be dot purple, right? And that's going to change the color if you want to change the color, right? So by default, it's going to be, the placement is going to be on the trailing side. If you want it to be on the leading side, what you do is you come and add tell it that you want it to be on the leading side, right? So we come here and we say placement like so. Okay, let's come here and just say placement, and this is going to be dot top bar leading, right? So that's going to switch it to the other side. Of course, there are various other options that you could pick, like this is going to be a destructive action, right? Like so, where you, after you use it, it basically is just going to be, it's usually when you're trying to like delete something or whatnot, right? So those are the various options you could do. If you wanted to switch the placement, you could do that, and you can have multiple toolbar items, right? So you could come here and we do this, and we could just copy and then place that, and this is going to be dot top bar leading, right? So we're going to have two different buttons, right? So you could also put a toolbar on the navigation bar. Okay, let's actually navigate with our navigation stack. How we do that is pretty straightforward. We use a navigation link, right? So let's come here and we say navigation link, and we could have a destination, which is going to be a view, and a label, right? So you could hit enter, and you get this and this, right? Now here, what you could do is the label is what is going to be shown for the actual, which is going to be shown for the button that you're going to click to go to the destination, right? Now here, since everything is a view, basically in SwiftUI, we could go to a text. We could go to a text here called details, and the way we're going to navigate to that is another text called okay, right? So we come here and we say something like okay, right? So we have okay, and when we press okay, like so, okay, it does take a bit of time. Let's just run it, and we reload this, and we hit okay, and now it's going to work, right? So it was frozen a bit, but now we can go back, and you will notice that we get this free back button, the chevron left, which we can use to navigate back to our page, right? So we can navigate between the two pages, right? Like so, using that, right? So that's done. Notice that we could go to any view. For example, we could come here and we say something like struct and just say detail, and detail is going to be a type of view, like so, and this is going to be a text here. We could have a text here and say something like the details, right? So we could navigate to this by just coming here and instead of saying details, and just return the detail, right? So we return detail like so, and now when we hit this, we should come to this structure that we just created with the word the details there. So that's one thing we could do. And also we could maybe like for the button that you're going to press, you could put an image if you want, like so. Come here, say something like system name, and this is going to be heart.fill, right? You could do all this and it's going to work exactly as you would expect it, right? Of course, it's a bit finicky, so you might have to run it and come and do that, and you can now see it on the preview, right? The preview does get stuck once in a while, right? So you could navigate using that, and you could go to other views. Now you will notice that we do get this the chevron left back button, but we could implement our own if we wanted, right? So how we would implement our own is pretty straightforward. We would come to the page that we're navigating to, in this case the detail page, and what we would want to do is we have environment, right? The environment property wrapper, like so, and we're just going to come here and say we want to use a dot dismiss, and we come here and say var dismiss, like so. And what we're doing here, or what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to implement our own method of navigating, right? So if you don't provide a means, what we're going to do is we're going to disable the back button that comes with the navigation bar for free, right? We want to implement our own, but for us to do that, we would need to hide the current back button, right? So that's what you're trying to do. So we put the dismiss here, and then we could have a button so that we can do it ourselves and have a button, and this is just going to be something like let's just put the text dismiss and come here, and we're just going to call dismiss, right? Dismiss, like so. So what is going to happen here is when we actually go to this particular page, we're going to see this button dismiss, and we can dismiss it, right? And we do not want the back button. So for us to get rid of the back button, how we do it is we come here and we say we want the navigation bar dot navigation back bar button hidden, like that, and we say true, right? So if we do that, we are not going to have the navigation back bar button, right? So let's come here, and you see that we have this, right? We don't have the back button, right? And we have to dismiss it ourselves. That's what we were putting this for, the property wrapper. So we do that, and now we can go back, right? Now the disadvantage of doing this, or one thing you should know if you do this, is that you lose the ability to swipe back, right? So in if you're on your device and you can go to your edge and you can just swipe back like this, and if you do that, you're going to go to the previous page, right? But if you do hide that one comes with the custom with the back button, the chevron left that comes with the navigation stack, right? So if you disable it or hide it, you won't get that functionality, right? And you would have to implement your own way. But the advantage is how to implement it is pretty trivial. So you just put the property wrapper, dismiss, and then just have a button with dismiss. You could also put it in a button like on the navigation title, right? So that's one thing you should know. So let's talk about something else we can do with the navigation link, right? Now with the navigation link, we could use a parameter to navigate to various links, right? Different links, right? So for example, here we could come here and we say we want something like navigation link, and there's an option that you're going to see, right? Let's just look at them. Okay, let me just type them out. That you're going to have detail, like so. That is going to have the value, right? The value here is going to be something hashable. Hashable is a protocol that you have to conform to, and we could say something like this is going to be a number. Let's say the number 12, right? Now this can be useful if you want to pass information to another view, right? And or based on this, do something with it, right? So we could come here and we say the value here we want to pass is 12, or the value that we want to use to establish or use the value to do something, in this case is going to be 12. I'm going to show you how we could pass different values, right? Now what we could do is we could have the same detail view here, and we could just come here and go back to the detail, right? And comment this out, and instead of having the dismiss, we could get rid of this and say something like let var num, and num is going to be an integer, like so. And instead of having this, we could come here and we just have our vstack. And what you're going to have is going to be a text. And because you're getting the number, what we would want is to interpolate it. So we come here and we interpolate it. And then we're going to have the actual num, right? So that is going to be the case. Now, right? So of course you can't say let var num, we're just going to say let num, like so, and then we're going to have our number, right? Now we would like to, in order to call the detail, we would like to pass this in to this particular view, right? We would like to pass in the number. So how we do that is we come here and we say something like num, not num, but navigation destination, right? For, and this is going to be for, and here we're going to pass in the hashable type, and in this case the value that we're passing is going to be the integer, right? So the hashable type of 12 is going to be integer. So you say integer dot self, like so, and the destination in question is going to be we could come here and we say val in, and the destination in question is going to be the detail, right? So we say detail here, and it requires a num, and the num in question is going to be the val, right? So if we do that, we're going to pass in the number 12, right? So let's just build it fast so that we make sure that the preview works. And if we come and do this, we're going to get our detail view with the particular number, right? And we can go back with the custom navigation that comes with the navigation stack, right? So we could use that and navigate to it and back, right? Now the advantage of this is that we could have multiple different destinations, right? So we could come here and we put another navigation link, and this one is going to be slightly different. Instead of the integer, we could use character or something of the sort, right? Character, and the value here is going to be, remember it has to be hashable, it's going to be a string, so it's going to be something like char. Let's have value is going to be a string, right? So where do we put it? We put it, okay, char or something of the sort, right? And what we want to do is maybe let's repeat this by coming here and we say copy this, come here, paste this, and instead of detail, this is going to be char. Let's just call it char, like so. And instead of num, we're going to have char, and here it's going to be a string, right? Remember, it will evaluate to the more complete type, right? So what we want here is just come and say text. This is going to be char, like so, right? Now, what we want to do is we would like to come here and tell it the destination. So we say navigation destination for, and the hashable type here is going to be string dot self, like so, the destination, and this is going to be val in, and we need to call our, what do we call it? We call it char. Called char, and the char is going to be the val, right? So that's the value that we're passing into char, right? So depending on what you press here, you're going to pass in a different value. If you press detail, you're going to get 12. If you press char, you're going to get the character that you've passed in, right? In our case, you're passing in the value char, right? And just to make sure that's different, we could say za. I was trying to type star. Don't think that I have communist sympathies, right? I was trying to type star, I typed za, right? So let's build that and see that, right? So you could use this to pass in different information to the particular navigation that you're going to, right? But the key is that they have to be hashable, right? And string and integer are both hashable types, right? So basically that. Now I'm going to show you where the navigation link with a value can really shine. And this is where you have a situation where you have a list, you're dealing with a list, right? So let us actually see that. So we could come here and let's create a struct, and the struct is going to be something like person, and person, because it's a list, we need to make it identifiable so that we don't have to pass in the ID to our list. And we also need to make it hashable, right? And the reason for hashable, of course, we're dealing with the value like we have seen already, right? So here we just say let name, and it's complaining currently because if you do identifiable, you have to make sure that it has a unique identifier, right? So we say let name is going to be type string, like so. Then we come here and we say let ID, and ID is going to be UUID, right? Like so. So that creates a random ID for us, and now we can actually create a list from there, right? So what we do is we come here and we need to create a number of people, right? So we could create them at the top here, like say here, let persons, and persons are going to be an array of person, right? So we say here, person, like so, and it requires a name. The name is going to be Mike, like so, comma, come here, say person name Caleb, and maybe let us say person Andrew, right? So we have 3 persons there. What we could do here next is create the list, and for the list we just want to provide the persons, like so, and here we want to come in the closure, and here we're going to say person, like so, person in, and here we would like a navigation link, and to it we would provide the person dot name, and we have the value, and the value is going to be the actual person, right? So person, like so, and you see we do get our list here with the name of the various people. And now what we would like to do is we would like to navigate to that particular person, right? Now when you're putting the modifier of the navigation destination that you're heading to, don't create it like, don't put it here, come here and say navigation, don't put it on the navigation destination, right? So this, right? Don't put it on the navigation link. And the reason for this is if you put the navigation destination here on the navigation link, it's going to be created multiple times for each person, right? So it's going to, since we're inside the list, right? So we're going to create this multiple times for each single person, right? What we want to do is we want to put it on the entire list, right? So what we want to do is come here, and here is where we put the navigation destination, right? So we come here and we say navigation destination, right? And currently we don't have the navigation destination, so let's come here and we say struct detail, and this is going to be a view, like so, and here we're just going to pass in the particular person. So we say come here, give yourself a bit more space. Let person is going to be of type person, like so. Come here, get the text, and what's the text? The text is going to be person dot name, right? So we have the person dot name, like so, and then we come here and we have a destination now. What's the destination? For, and this is going to be the person dot self, like so, and come here and hit enter, and here we're going to have the particular person. So we say person, like so, and then we pass it to our destination. In this case, it's going to be detail, and detail needs a person, and what do you know? We have a person here, right? So if we do this and we try building it, because it can be finicky, right? Try building it and we come to our preview, we should be able to navigate to that particular person, right? So we come here and we get Mike, come back here, Caleb, and get Andrew, right? So this is where the value actually shines, right? So we can just pass it along like so, and then in our destination, we just get the person, and we can share that information about that particular person with the screen that we want to show, right? So that's a quick high-level overview of the navigation stacks and some of the things that you can do.